guys and I got introduced to a couple of you, and it was really hard to hear those individual conversations, right? A lot of people talking at the same time. And that's just in this small little room. When you look at the internet, there's millions, billions of conversations happening. And the first thing that you really need to think about when you're looking at social media and how it applies to your business is, how do I listen? How do I find out what people are already saying? So the question is, where are the conversations happening? And they are happening everywhere. There's all sorts of platforms, and whether people are creating videos or photos or doing blog posts or status updates. And so I'm going to talk real quick about a couple tools. Some of you guys may know these tools, some of you may not. I would write all of them down because they're all very useful. First one is Google Blog Search. Most of you guys are familiar. I would hope everybody in this room is familiar with Google. If you go under that little tab up there where it says More, there's a pull down, and there's a pull down for blogs. So you can specifically search blogs as opposed to just Googling in general. So all the results here are going to be organized either by relevance or by date, and you can sort based on those two things. Another one is Technorati. That is a blog-specific search engine. You can find out who is talking about your brand. It's very similar to a Google blog search, except they incorporate it into media. You might see some videos or other forms of media pop up. So many people are on Twitter, and I'm assuming if you're on Twitter that you're also using Twitter search to kind of monitor your brand. This is a fantastic tool. You can take a feed from Twitter search, pull it right into your RSS reader, and then get real-time updates as people are talking about you. There's also services like TweetDeep that will message you when people are talking about you. So you can set up alerts to find out if somebody's talking about you or your brand. FriendFeed, you can also do searches inside of FriendFeed. Another tool is called Blog Pulse. This is not going to necessarily, well, actually they do have some aggregation of what people are saying, but something that's really neat about this service is that it'll give you trends over time. So this is a trend for local company here, EA Sports, right? Some of the things that people don't really think about when they talk about social media, they talk about Twitter and they talk about Facebook because those are the companies that everybody is talking about. But if you're a plumber, chances are there's not going to be a lot of people blogging about you or tweeting about you. But they may be at a review site like a Yelp.com, and they may be leaving comments. And that for you, for that type of business, this is probably your best source for social media, is engaging in these people, figuring out what people have to say about your brand, and encouraging them, if they have a good experience, to share that experience with their friends. So when someone's doing research for a plumber, that those great experiences rise to the top. And then there's a whole bunch of new location-based services, right? So if you look at things like BrightKite, or this is an application called Foursquare, which is designed for the iPhone. It hasn't really rolled out in Orlando yet, but it's out in San Francisco and New York. And what's really interesting about something like this is if you have a business that is a restaurant or a hotel or someplace where people physically go, you can see all the people that have been to your location, right? You can interact with those people. You can also see this guy up here. This is a bar in New York that I went to. This drunk guy is the mayor. And the mayor is the person who has visited that place the most time and most times in the last 60 days. So you can see who your power users are, right? And so getting involved with these types of things early is really important. If you have a type of business that might benefit from knowing who is coming to your business, which is pretty much all of us, you should jump on these solutions early and get yourself familiar with them. So content is being published everywhere, 24/7, 365. And just to illustrate that real quick, let's see here. So this is my Twitter stream, right? And all you guys or most of you guys are familiar with Twitter, and so I've posted my picture that I took, but it also got casted out to my life past, right? And it also got ported to my Flickr account. So you need to expect as a business that every single experience and interaction that somebody has with your company is being documented and shared. And when you have people that, for me, I reach over 30,000 people through my Twitter account. When I have a good or bad experience with your brand, people are going to know about it.
I'm going to put the color.
All right, so we found the conversation, right? We know what people are saying. The next thing is that we've got to participate. But you can't just jump in and start having a discussion. You need to understand why that discussion is happening, right? So if a person had a good experience or a bad experience with your brand, what impacted that? If they interacted with somebody in your organization who was a customer service person or a salesperson, what actually transpired there? A lot of people share bad experiences with their friends. There's a reason that they had that bad experience, and you need to figure out what the root cause was and deal with that. I have like 100 slides, so I'm trying to go through them as fast as possible so we can actually get to the good stuff, which is the questions. Right? So I'm going to give some examples of how companies are using social media. So Southwest has an awesome blog, focuses a lot on their customers, focuses a lot on their employees, sharing stories, really bringing the entire culture of the organization to the forefront. BASF. If you care about chemistry, which I do not care about, but their customers care about, they do a podcast. Tony, who you're going to see later today, is a huge power user on Twitter, 1.5 million followers, is not talking about, hey, you should go buy these shoes, right? He's sharing his everyday experiences with people and interacting with them and solving customer service issues. You got companies like Intel that are on Facebook, that have built up huge followings and interact with people on a daily basis. This is a picture of a dog in a hot dog bar. So who cares, right? These are all big companies with big budgets. Not just the big guys are in on this stuff, though, right? If we look at locally, we've got Film Orlando on Facebook. We've got the Willow Tree on Facebook. We've got Downtown Orlando on Facebook. You pay too much! It's gonna fly. Mercantile Capital. We've got Rasmussen the College is on Flickr. We've got Track Shack on Twitter. We've got the Gaylord Palms on Twitter. We've got NYPD Pizza on Twitter. We've got Full Sail Careers on Twitter. And then we've got people like Pancheros who are integrating this into their store. When you actually go to a Pancheros, that's a little place where you order there, right? So you have all these companies that have very different business models that are starting to embrace social media. And if you haven't done it yet, and you haven't started to really get aggressive with it, and beyond the, hey, I like to tweet, or I have a Twitter account, and I do a little bit of this, and I tell people what I just ate for lunch, that's not going to do it, right? These people are really using this to push their business forward, to drive traffic into their stores, to make sure that their customers are satisfied, to identify new potential customers. These are fantastic tools. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how IZEA does it. Because it's easy to talk about this stuff, it's a lot harder to do it, right? So what we try to do is create what we call a universe around our company, right? So these are the first components. It's the media plus the platform. So we did, for 2 years, we had our own reality show. Where we actually, there's 48 episodes, it's still on iTunes if you search for Rock Startup. You can see what we went through starting our company, and very intimate stuff, the good, the bad, the ugly. We have a blog. I like to wear hats. This is my personal blog. You guys remember this? This is what's called